Is this thing on?
Hey, let's adjust that a little bit there, or wait, I move this way. I'll move this way.
All right.
Right?
Yep.
Okay.
This is riveting Q&A. Hey.
How's it going, everybody? Well, let's see. Who's everybody? Do we have everybody? Do we have anybody?
Not at the moment.
Okay. Do you have it up there?
On my computer? Yeah, I'll check it out.
So this is Sean.
And Alex.
And this is our Dukes of Dice live Q&A for February. I don't like how I say February.
Wasn't it for January?
Oh, yeah. This is our January one. We're going to do a second one later this month because of reasons. Because we're bad. We're late. So, yeah. Hey, if you're out there, can you hear us? Let's see. Do we have anyone that has shown up yet? Nope. We sure don't. It's always weirds me out when we're watching this.
Right. Watching us, watching ourselves. Yeah. It's going to be up to 2 watching in a second because I just started watching on this thing.
Awesome.
Oh, yeah. The audio is working.
Oh, great. Okay. So don't let us know if the audio is working because apparently it is working just fine. So, Alex, how you doing?
I am doing solidly. We are in the middle of recording episode 78.
Right.
And where we stopped in the middle of episode 78 to do this, nobody knows.
So that's going to drop Monday, and the game is that you're going to go on the guild, and you're going to let us know where you think we stopped recording. Could be mid-segment. It could be in between segments.
Yeah.
So maybe our energy level's a little bit different.
Could be.
I don't know. I think our energy was up for it being a morning recording already.
Yeah, not bad at all, actually. Possibly because I was a half hour late to the recording.
Yeah, you were pretty late there. So what's going on with you?
Not too much. Just talking board games, doing stuff.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, that's what's happening. That's a thing.
All right. Well, that's good.
Yeah. Hey, you want to start answering some guild questions?
Let's do it.
All right. So first up, Derek Davis, honorary Duke, Derek Davis.
Yeah.
Hey.
Oh, wait, real quick. So Laser Bologna. Is it Bologna or Bologna?
No, it's Bologna.
Okay.
That's Bologna.
Says, hey, Sean, hope everyone is feeling better. Everyone is feeling better. Thank you. So much better. I'm tired of being sick. Every January, I come down with something.
Yeah.
And it's usually pretty rough. So, and he says it's working. I can see you. So, yeah, everyone's doing much better here. This last go around, I wasn't as sick. It was just everyone else was super sick. And
skipped out on game night on Wednesday, Sean.
Oh, it hurts. It hurts, Alex.
All right. First question from Derek Davis we'll get to. What conventions will you be attending this year?
All right. So I'm going to Dice Tower Con and BGG Con. Those are both for sure's for me. There was a plan to go to Gen Con, but then I changed jobs, and that screwed that up.
Yeah.
Not in a bad way. Just basically one of the attorneys, and it's a much smaller firm, is going to be on maternity leave the month of Gen Con.
Makes sense.
So, yeah. But no, that's cool. Next year. So you're doing Dice Tower Con for sure.
Definitely Dice Tower Con for sure, and everything else to be determined.
Okay.
To be determined.
But hopefully BGG?
Hopefully BGG. Maybe Essen. Maybe I'll just go to Essen.
Yeah.
Without you.
Good. Have fun with that. What for next year though? I would like to be able to throw Gen Con into the mix. I think that's a possibility. And then also the Rocky Mountain Gaming Vacation.
Oh yeah,
from Icarus Tours. It looks really cool. It's really reasonable for what you're getting. Everything's kind of all inclusive, and they're gonna have cool. I mean, this year they're having Mike Fitzgerald and Dan King as special guests. Who knows if they'll be there next year? Who knows if we're special guests?
I don't know.
It just depends on if we get the word out to people,
right,
to go there. So
indeed.
Yeah.
Let's see. Feld top 5, Rosenberg top 5 from Derek Davis. Can you do this one off the top of your head?
Top 5 Rosenberg.
Feld
games?
or Rosenberg?
Oh, okay. So let's do Feld.
Not combining the two. But
okay.
Yeah.
Number 1, I'll go in descending order. I think that'll be descending order. Okay. Number 1, Castles Burgundy. Number 2, Trajan. Number 3, Bora Bora. Number 4, that's where things start to get a little wonky. Number 4,
is Aquasphere in there?
No.
Amerigo?
No.
Luna?
No, I need to play Luna more. I've only played it 2-player. Okay, well, there's the top 3. Top 3 Feld. Okay, for Uwe.
Yeah.
Number 1, Caverna. Number 2, Fields of Arla. Number 3, Glass Road. Number 4, Patchwork. Number 5. I'm trying to think. Number 5? Do I have a number 5? Haven't played Ort Labora. Haven't played. What am I forgetting? Oh, Bonanza maybe. I really like Bonanza.
Bonanza is actually really solid.
Yeah.
Kind of a forgotten Uwe in the sense, but not really.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just not one that because you would think of him as the farming one, but then you realize he's got Patchwork out there, he's got Bonanza out there. So let's see if I'm going to cheat on this one and do a top 3, which combined would be a top 6.
Okay.
Aquasphere is my number 1 Feld.
Sure.
Castles of Burgundy is probably my number 2, so it's certainly up there.
Really? You like Aquasphere more than Castles of Burgundy?
It's possible.
Wow.
I don't know. It's in that range. It's a toss-up. I do really enjoy Aquasphere. It's just the squid killing alone.
You're capturing them to study them.
You're not
you're
torturing them and they're all dying horribly.
Poor squids.
Yeah. Aquasphere, Castles of Burgundy, La Isla, no, not Bora Bora. Notre Dame, maybe?
Notre Dame's really good. I need to pick up a copy.
Notre Dame's pretty solid.
Oh, Macau. Oh, Macau needs to be.
Okay,
Macau is on my list.
Okay.
Macau is probably 4.
For Uwe, for me, Glass Road, Patchwork, and I'll throw Caverna in there. That's fine.
Yeah, you were a big fan of Caverna for a while.
Oh, Patrick Hillier points out, Bonanza is farming. Thanks, Patrick. You are accurate. Thank you. Yes, it's bean farming. I understand that.
He doesn't get. He still does. He says he gets it, but he doesn't get it.
All right. And for anyone who's watching now, as we're starting to get a few people trickling in here, feel free to post any questions in that chat.
Good work, Patrick. Seriously.
Thanks, Patrick.
Good work.
Hail Hydra?
Hail Hydra, Patrick.
Okay,
good job.
Let's see. All right. Other questions on the guild. Let's jump to Jeremy Wright's questions. Jeremy had, what is your proudest win in a board game? That's from Matt Walker.
Wait, from Matt or Jeremy?
It's Matt. I skipped Jeremy and then went to Matt. I'll go back to Jeremy. Sorry, Jeremy. But Matt Walker says, what's your proudest win in a board game?
My proudest win in a board game. See how I repeated the question there to gain extra time?
Yes.
To think?
Yep.
And now I'm referencing how I did that. Do you have one, Alex? What's yours?
Just about any time I beat you is a pretty proud win, especially Matai. Some of those Matai series. Turtle wins are always solid. Like Turtle wins are kind of up there as far as proudest wins. But I don't know. It's always whenever you can beat someone at their own game. I'm trying to think of a proudest one. There's not one shining moment that really comes to mind. Oh, beating the Grizzled. Beating the Grizzled was a pretty proud moment because of how hard that game is. And probably when we beat Pathfinder Adventure card game together, that was up there for me as well.
Well, together,
Ezrin primarily
was doing the heavy lifting.
Yeah, for the most part.
So
Demigod Ezrin.
Yeah.
Who's going to be appearing in an expansion of Elysium, by the way, just because of that playthrough. What do you come up with?
So I'm struggling with trying to think of a board game like proudest win. There, in terms of miniature games, like when I was playing Warhammer, I feel like, either 40K or fantasy, I feel like there were a lot more notable wins that I can remember in my mind. I remember when my buddy Anthony and I back in Phoenix, we played pretty competitively because we played in a bunch of grand tournaments around the country and things like that. And we'd always do these just like marathon sessions of just playing like 12 games of Warhammer, which, consider these are usually like 2.5 hour games,
right?
But we could play them in about 45 minutes because we had this kind of rhythm that we could do, and like we didn't have to like say what we were doing. It wasn't necessarily fun because we weren't like relaxing. We were trying to do everything as quickly as possible to kind of get a feel for things. Anyway, he was a much better player than I was.
Okay,
moderately better, a little bit better, moderately better. And so he had this one particular Imperial Guard army that was just brutal. And I remember I finally beat him with my Black Legion Chaos Space Marine army in this one game. And I shouldn't have won it, but just everything was going my way. Tactics were working out. So I don't know. I can't really think of a board game though where I was like,
one specific. There's obviously great like stand up kind of way. I'm sure Resistance. You've had a few satisfying ones.
Oh yeah, no, that's probably true. But
it's hard to pick out one specific one.
I win most of them, so they all kind of.
I know, but there's got to be at least a couple where it's like you just absolutely fooled everyone.
Yeah,
like it lends itself to those kinds of satisfying moments.
No, absolutely.
So,
I'm just posting some stuff on Twitter here to let people know that we're up.
Generate traffic. Yes.
Just do it over on this. This seems much easier.
Sean, what is your pile of shame?
Oh,
this is also
man.
from Matt Walker. Games you own but haven't gotten to the table yet. And how large is it? Because the answer is quite large. One sitting right here, actually. This one I had played at Dice Tower Con, best treehouse ever. Great one by Scott Alms. You've not played this one yet.
No, I have not.
As much as you like drafting.
What's your guess as far as my pile of shame?
How many games?
How many?
At least 20.
Yeah,
it's at 30. Least 20.
It's about 30 now. It was 20 like 2 months ago.
At the risk of costing its listeners, acquisition store.
Excellent. So there's so many games. So like my copy of Blood Rage hasn't been played.
Wow. Yeah.
There's so much up there. Like I said, there's 30 games. And again, I need to start gaming like at least every other Sunday. That's what has.
That used to be a pretty key time.
Yeah, I mean, because you figure even if it's like noon to 7, that's still like 3 solid games you can get in there.
Right.
3 meaty solid games, or two games with some fillers in between, and that would really help me kind of get through that pile. As it stands now, I've got Wednesday nights is a night where we're usually doing a couple fillers, 1 meaty game, and then a game or 2 of Pandemic Legacy.
Right.
And so that's not really good. I'm not getting through that. Raquel and I are usually playing a couple games a week, but even that, like there's some 2-player stuff. Like my El Grande Big Box is on my pile of shame, and it's killing me. And it's not really good 2-player things. It's primarily area control.
So I picked up Project Dreamscape in the Jack Vassal Memorial Fund auction.
Oh, you did? I didn't know that.
I did pick that up, and I've not played it yet. I'm interested in playing it. The art looks interesting. I picked it up for a reason. So, ask questions. What do you
just talk? Talk.
I don't have as large of a pile of shame because I just don't buy as many games as you do. The closet is full with games that I'd like to play more often.
Well, yeah,
for sure. But in terms of games that I've picked up that I haven't played, that list is small. But in terms of games that Sean or Empire have picked up, Empire Board Game Library have picked up that I want to play, yeah, there's a good chunk of them. A good chunk of things I need to get to. I'm trying to see if I pulled any of them down with me. Dungeon Pets expansion would be one that would be worth getting to the table at some point. Dark Alleys. Let's see. Oh, hey, Laser Bologna.
Or Bologna.
Do you gentlemen set a budget for your gaming every month? Do you set a budget? What's your monthly gaming budget, Sean?
It's an interesting question, Alex. It's a very
the accounting firm of Ramirez and Goldsmith wants to know.
So I don't know. So here's what usually happens. What usually happens is I will buy a game from Rory over at Empire Board Game Library. Did I say library? I said library.
You might have.
Library, because I know what word that is. I buy a game from him probably every other week or maybe once every 3 weeks. As far as like a big box game, there might be like something smaller here or there. I make a cool stuff order about every 3 months.
Just 3 months?
Yeah, I actually went through my orders, and it's about every 3 months.
Okay.
And then I'm on the Hot Deals subscription on BGG, and
right.
So when something's like really cheap, I'll usually pick something up there. And there's some other things, and so there's probably like 2 Amazon purchases a month. Supplies, Kickstarter,
and then the play passes over to Empire and food.
Right.
If you count that as part of gaming budget.
Yeah.
What's that number?
Oh, I don't know. That's not the question, right?
Oh, do you set a budget?
Set a budget.
Well, okay.
No, I don't.
Okay, but it lends itself to what is your budget?
That's not the question asked.
Lawyered.
Exactly.
You've been lawyered, apparently. I don't spend as much as you do on games, so I maybe a purchase every couple months on average, probably. Maybe a purchase every month if I'm thinking about it. Probably in that $20 to $50 range somewhere with a Kickstarter pledge mixed in there. So I'm probably, if I had to guess, and then you have the weekly Empire Nights, which can run anywhere from $15 to $30, depending on if Jillian shows up, really.
Yeah.
So that could be probably in about $100 a month, which I think you would laugh at, but
no, I wouldn't laugh at it.
You're not devoted enough to the hobby.
Board gaming peon.
Yeah.
So over on Twitter, and by the way, if you're not on the YouTube asking questions, the YouTube, is that what I said? I was going to say the YouTube.
What?
The thing. Anyway, you can ask questions on Twitter. Use the hashtag DODQA.
Got it.
DODQA. So Suzanne, she's got a bunch here.
Oh boy.
If you could have any other non-game related job than you currently have, what would it be? Television producer. I would be producing.
You'd be a television. Okay.
Yeah, not like with your.
No, not the. I was like, news producer. Interesting.
No, I mean, I would obviously have to like work my way up because usually you're like a production assistant for a long time.
Right.
It's kind of like, you work hard, right place at the right time. I mean, probably not actually now with my family and things like that. But if I were younger and if I, didn't have all that to worry about, obviously. But like I talked about last week, I used to be so much more into TV than I am now. Watching and rewatching seasons and seasons, watching all of the, behind the scenes, the commentaries, and I just really enjoyed the idea of production, also writing. So that's something I definitely would have been interested in doing. I'm
trying to figure that out right now.
Yeah. Should you say that on air?
I don't know.
Oh, okay. Yep.
Anyway,
go.
No explanation will be provided.
As far as a responsible answer, I would probably be a pharmacist, which both my mom and my stepdad are. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, long.
I don't have a responsible answer to that. TV news anchor is an answer to that.
Okay, that seems like a good one though.
Yeah, but that's my current job.
Yeah, but would you rather be a full-time anchor?
No.
Okay. Would you rather? So like, it's weird because you don't do like investigative reporting.
Not really. No, it's mainly daily turns.
Yeah. Would you rather do that? Would you find that more interesting?
The problem is knowing how I work, and you've seen how I work with the show. If there's a deadline
with that show or with this show?
No, with this show.
Oh, okay.
With this show, and it's kind of how I work in general. I work like right up until the deadline.
Yeah.
So I'm like always last second preparation, last second that, and the current like daily turn of reporting kind of prepares you better for that because it's something different every day, and it's something where you're getting a story and you're going on and you're turning it within the span of a few hours.
Okay.
And you don't have a lot of time to procrastinate and think about it and just do everything at the last second.
Yeah.
So just in terms of that, investigative tends to require a lot of like a methodical process of over the span of this, there's an eventual goal. Like the story has to make air at some point.
Right.
But I don't think I'd be as productive as I'd need to be in that kind of job.
Because you decide, as an investigative reporter, you decide, okay, now the story is ready to go to air.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But there's an expectation of how often those stories are going to be and the impact. And also, I just don't have that kind of bulldog mentality that I think you kind of need as an investigative reporter to really get after it. It's not to say I haven't asked a lot of hard questions over the time and probably made some people angry, but it's not how I like to do business, and it's not how I like to be out in the world. Okay. And I feel like investigative would put more of an emphasis on that kind of thing. So in terms of just how I work and my tastes, no, probably not.
Okay.
So
Suzanne also asks, do we have any guilty pleasure games, movies, or shows? So how about a game? What's your guilty pleasure game? That one's kind of hard.
Puzzle Strike.
Okay.
Kind of. I'm trying to think of because the idea of that is it's kind of like a stupid, like a game is stupid or isn't very good.
Right.
But you kind of enjoy playing.
Yeah.
I'll say, and I don't think it's can be considered a guilty pleasure game because we only played it once. Star Wars, the VHS game was kind of a guilty pleasure. Robo Rally to me is kind of fits in that category. I think it's those masochistic kinds of experiences, like games that I don't actually like. Yeah.
All right, I'll have to come back on game. As far as like a TV show, I was pretty into Glee for a while. I really enjoyed Glee. And then the last couple seasons I stopped watching because it got really stupid. Or sorry, it continued to be stupid and then got stupider. But I liked Glee. And Babylon 5 is kind of a guilty pleasure. I feel like in a lot of ways it's not holding up anymore.
Right.
I feel like after the new Battlestar Galactica came out, that Babylon 5 just didn't quite hold up, even though it was like a storytelling thing. Because it had a cohesive 5-year arc as far as the storytelling went. Like it was methodically planned out.
Okay.
Which I appreciate. When a lot of shows like Lost and Battlestar Galactica are just like, oh, we'll figure it out when we get to the last season.
Cutthroat Kitchen would be kind of a guilty pleasure show. I just think that's, and it can be cooking shows in general or ones that I think are pretty funny.
As far as guilty pleasure movie?
Yeah. Brewster's Millions.
Really? Guilty pleasure?
I don't know if I'd call it guilty. Well,
I don't know. Maybe. I don't know. It's a good movie. I like it. I would have said in the past Starship Troopers, the movie. I love the book, and the book and the movie are nothing alike.
Dodgeball. There we go. Dodgeball.
Oh, all right. But back to me. Back to this guy here. So
I'm going to answer Ryan's question. Yeah, it's Escape Zombie City. By the way, Patrick, it is Escape Zombie City. Laser Baloney is correct. Ryan Moore, Also half correct. They were asking what the game behind you was.
Oh.
Escape Zombie City.
Oh, okay.
Starts with an E. That's what it is. Sorry to interrupt. Go ahead.
I'll duck.
Yeah.
Yep. So, Starship Troopers, I think people are now realizing that it was satire and that they chose, Paul Verhoeven, the director, chose the most wooden actors he could have on purpose.
Right.
Because he wanted to be this kind of cheesy B-movie like from the 50s. But I love Starship Troopers. I've seen it so many times. Also, Stargate is kind of, I'll watch it whenever it's on. The original Stargate.
Yeah.
And the TV show is kind of guilty pleasure because that show's not holding up either, but I'll watch it.
Okay.
SG1.
Fair enough.
All right, what else we got?
Let's see. Back on to the guild. Jeremy Wright, sorry to skip past the question the first time. Do you have any suggestions for folks interested in painting board game miniatures? I just got into the hobby and there's so much conflicting information, it's hard to know where to turn. I am not an expert at all on
You don't want to field this one out?
No, I'm not fielding this one. I've never painted a miniature in my life and I'd be terrible at it if I did. Sean, what's the answer to that?
All right. What's the question exactly? I know it's about.
You're stalling for time.
I know it's about board game. I mean, there's plenty I could talk about this.
Do you have any suggestions for folks interested? And I think it's probably suggestions for folks who are going to start painting board game miniatures.
So number one, and so I haven't been as much into the painting side of the hobby as I was when I was playing miniature games, but there were a lot of blogs that have great tutorials out there. Bell of Lost Souls is a great place. There was this fantastic blog called like From the Warp, although I know that stopped. You can go check out my blog, which isn't up anymore. It was like running from the law. If you Google running from the law and then DVDHWK AZ.
Yeah, in case you're writing that down.
Yeah, I'll find it and I'll put it. Anyway, so a lot of tutorials that are out there. What I would say is don't worry about being a perfectionist and don't worry about them not looking as well as you have envisioned in your mind or how you've seen others do it online. There are a lot of quick and easy techniques that you can use to get high quality, really well painted miniatures that are quick and easy while you're kind of learning. Also, brush control is huge. Brush control is significant. So a lot of people will use the smallest brush possible to try and get stuff done. But as you get better and as your brush control gets better, you can use a gigantic brush to do the really fine detail. When I was at my height, I mean, I had this big, thick, they call it a tank brush because it was used for painting tanks, that I could do fine detail work with because my brush control was just incredible. It's not as good now. In fact, it's really frustrating whenever I go back to painting here and there because my brush control is just shot. Yeah, I mean, it's still fine, but it's not like it was.
Fine motor skills and me are not good friends. So, no, my brush control would be negligible.
Dry brushing is your friend, and washes are your friend for getting started. Washes and inks, things like that. They're really easy. And I think just learning some quick techniques and also kind of like planning how to paint. I know when I look at a miniature, I want to, generally speaking, paint deep and then come out, if that makes sense. Kind of hard to explain. Basically, I don't want to be painting something that's like on the outside of a miniature and then have to go back inside because then I'm going to mess up what I've painted on the outside, if that makes sense. So there's a lot of painting is really about planning and how you're going to paint something. If you have a bunch of dudes doing an assembly line, it gets really boring, but it's so much faster. You're like, all right, I'm going to paint all the swords now or all the metal on a character, on a bunch of dudes.
Right.
Assembly line's the way to go. So,
and then a follow-up to that, by the way, have you had time to complete your Arcadia Quest painting? The answer, I think I know the answer to that. Can I guess? No.
No, I haven't. So here's the plan. The Kemet Tossetti miniatures are going to get done next. Those will be really quick because I did all the other Kemet miniatures in a day. Mm-hmm. So I could probably do those pretty quickly. And then I'll jump back into Arcadia Quest. I need a schedule. I work really well on painting schedules.
Okay.
In fact, you can see one of those painting schedules on my old blog.
Fair enough.
Running from the law.
All right. Another question from Matt Walker. Going to jump back to this one. How do you decide to back a game on Kickstarter rather than wait for retail? At least for me, the answer to this one comes down to Kickstarter exclusives. If there's something that you're only going to be able to get through that Kickstarter and it's going to be hard to get later, I mean, I've had times where I've absolutely regretted not getting something on Kickstarter first. So,
like what? Just out of curiosity.
I'm trying to think offhand. The big one that comes to mind was just seeing the difference between the Kickstarter version and the non-Kickstarter version of, and this isn't a game that I'd probably buy anyway, but it's, the one where you're fighting bug aliens, insects in lanes. It's cooperative. There's a base.
Xenoshift.
Xenoshift Onslaught.
Yeah.
Just seeing the difference between the Kickstarter and non-Kickstarter, I don't know.
Yeah.
That's kind of a bit of a wake-up call. And looking at Tiny Epic Western, I don't know what the retail version of that's going to look like versus the Kickstarter version. So that's one where there's so many extras, so many things unlocked that you kind of get in that mindset of gotta have it, gotta have it, gotta have it. So
if something is in like the $20 or $25 range, and it's kind of like that Tiny Epic Kingdom weight, like if it's a micro game that's 18 cards and it's $25, well, that's not gonna cut it. But usually if something's within that $20, $25 range, I'm much more likely to back it. I'm much more likely to be like, oh, $20, okay. And I'm not going to see it for, 6 months, 9 months, whatever.
Right.
When it's 40, I'm much more reluctant. When it's 50 and more, 100.
Yeah.
So
and it better have a track record or better have something that really excites you.
Right. Yeah. So like, for example, Arcadia Quest Inferno. Well, I am going crazy trying to find all of the exclusives for the original Arcadia Quest that I didn't get by not backing it. And so I want to make sure with Inferno that I'm getting everything.
Right.
So for the most part, there's like some token things that I'm not getting. But as far as all of the minis, I'm making sure I'm getting everything. So like you, stretch goals are important, at least to me. And it's interesting because I know like Jamie Segmeyer doesn't believe a lot in stretch goals. I mean, he does to a certain extent, but it's usually like increased production value on certain items. Like we're going to do a double layered board with cutouts, like in Scythe, if we reach a certain amount. So it's not like I'm throwing out exclusive stuff for you that only you're going to get, because he did that originally with Euphoria. Yeah, and I guess there's been some dissatisfaction, people not being able to get the exclusive stuff. But for my psychology, if I see that there's exclusive items and I'm interested in the gameplay, then I don't know, I'll probably point it back in it.
Yeah, and I think it's a price point is obviously important, and release is important. A couple more questions coming in on this, man. 3 of them all at once. Let's take them in order. Jonathan Dodd, thoughts on German railroads? I have not played it, and I wasn't all that excited to play it. I've kind of actively resisted us reviewing this. Yeah. I for reasons I can't really explain because I enjoyed Russian railroads. Yep. Sean, you seem to think this is actually a pretty dang good addition.
I think it's fantastic. I think it's incredible. So I talked about it a little bit last week. We just talked about it now in the episode that we recorded, or in the middle of recording, which will be coming out on Monday. And I've come in last place 2 games in a row now. And I think that's fantastic. It drives me insane and it's killing me inside, but I think it's fantastic that I haven't figured out this game, and I want to figure it out. I want to play this more, try out different things, and figure out why I'm not winning.
Sometimes it's how you lose that helps sell a game. I remember that was how I fell in love with Matai. That's how I lost. So, yeah. All right. Next up, Laser Baloney. Had a chance to play Burgle Brothers?
Burgle Brothers. Looks really cool. I think you'd like it a lot. So it's a heist type game, and I guess the box turns into, I don't think so. Turns into like these 3 levels.
Okay.
And I'm blanking on who did it.
I'm gonna look at this while you talk about it.
Yeah, you look at that. But I'll think about who did it, or you'll look it up, and I'll kick myself when I forget who did it. Next question from Eric Toole. Thoughts on Signore? I think it's Signore. There's a G in there.
Yeah, and actually Rory and I debated this. He came down on, I think, Signori, or something like that. I was like, no,
it's Signore.
Signore, right? Or something like that.
Yeah. Thoughts on Signore or Nippon? Just got them in the mail and deciding which one to crack open first.
Have you played either of them?
I have not played either.
And I haven't either.
However, I am super excited to play both. So I can't recommend one over the other, although I'm going to play Nippon first. So when I have the opportunity, hopefully on Wednesday, to play one of them, it's going to be Nippon. Nippon, I've heard described as kind of point salad-y, which is different than, because what is it, Nuno and the designers, the guys that did Madeira and Panamax. This is more a point salad-y. I feel like I'm really going to enjoy Nippon. Everything I've seen on it, reviews I've heard, I think I'm really going to enjoy it. Is Signori dice drafting? I think it's dice drafting, and I'm very interested in that too. So hopefully within the next week or two, I'll have a chance to play both, because I know Empire Board Game Library does have both over there.
So looking at some of the pictures of Burgle Brothers, it looks pretty interesting.
Yeah, designer.
So there's a helicopter. Oh, sorry, you're asking about that.
Yeah, the designer.
Bear
I'm
with me.
gonna kick myself.
It is Tim Fowers.
Oh yeah, who did the deck building, the the deck building game.
I don't know. He's got an awesome profile picture where he's just fanning out cards, looking like a player.
That's great that you're showing me that because it's super good.
It's good for TV.
What's the other paperback? Paperback.
Okay, which I've heard about. I just have not actually played that either.
Ryan Moore says that he agrees with Jamie. No Kickstarter exclusives. You can have bonus stuff, but make it available after the project ends.
I think that's the right way to do it.
I think so too, but at the same time, Kickstarter exclusives make me more likely to back something. I didn't back Xenoshift like you were talking about because I'm like, I don't really care about those particular Kickstarter exclusives. So,
getting a flood of these now.
Nettersplays says, do you play any 18xx games? I'm interested, but I'm not sure which one is good to start with. Any suggestions? No. So here, okay. I'm not a fan of economic games. They don't click for me. I'm just not good at them, and they don't particularly interest me. I do want to play an 18xx game.
Just to say
I feel like I need to have done that.
So we actually need someone to answer that question for us. Anyone has a suggestion of one to start with for us?
What do I feel like 1837? I don't know. But Heavy Cardboard. They're big 18xx guys. They have like an 18xx episode. They talk about 18xx games a lot. So they're definitely the guys to talk to about that. But if anyone out there knows a good entry-level 18xx game, it is something that I feel like I need to supplement and to at least play before I completely write off the genre.
Yeah. All right, next question. We're getting a couple here. Most innovative board game mechanism in the past couple of years.
From Spencer. Gillis.
I have a pretty quick answer for that one.
Okay.
Legacy games.
Yeah.
I'd say legacy games is the way to go because it's taking something that is a medium that you expect to replay. You know, an old game of Monopoly you can pull out and play however many times in a row. Not that you'd want to, but
Monopoly Legacy.
Monopoly Legacy. Park Place has now been destroyed. You can no longer go there without spending 2 extra movement points on your dice. Oh wow, that could actually work, right?
Design it up, Alex.
All right. And just the fact that you're taking something and turning it into a consumable experience.
Sure.
Played out over kind of a story mode. It's not meant to be sitting in a closet and replayed over and over. It's meant to be played through and enjoyed and experienced. And I think that to me is the most innovative board game mechanism I've seen. What about you, Sean?
Well, I think kind of just piggybacking on that, this idea of a narrative element throughout a board game. So whether it's time stories, whether it's a legacy style game, I feel like we're kind of pulling from RPGs and integrating those elements into board games, even with, Pathfinder and the adventure card game and things like that. So yeah, I think I would agree with you. I think it's kind of just adding more narrative elements, adding more of a continuing arc, adding campaign. Because look back at like the Descent initial campaign, even though it has sort of a narrative element, I never felt really invested in the story. Don't you think?
Yeah.
So,
trying to read other ones more coming in. Signore is dice drafting, but I'm with you. Nippon will be first. Just played Madeira last night, and I'm in love with Paulo and Nuno.
Yeah, Madeira is phenomenal. So good. You would hate it so much.
Excellent.
You would absolutely hate Madeira.
Excellent. Anything on Twitter?
Yeah, let's jump back to Twitter. So Blaine Miley asks, which current board game could best be reskinned to be Breaking Bad, the board game?
Ooh.
That's a good question. Okay, so...
Always love the Albuquerque shout-out, by the way. This town runs on Breaking Bad.
It's still.
The tours still happen. There's the candy lady here sells blue meth rock candy.
Yep.
All sorts of, and people still throw pizzas on that poor woman's house.
Food chain magnate? You're building
what?
You're building
a
meth empire?
Okay.
A dungeon crawl of some
what?
kind?
What else to be? Maybe an adventure card game of some kind.
Maybe.
Breaking Bad, the adventure card game, and
I'm trying to think of
the trick is that you're limited on character. Like everyone would want to be Walt, I would think. Walt or Jesse, and then past that.
I would not want to be Jesse.
Okay, who would you want to be if not Walt?
I'd want to be
Gus?
No, not Gus. I'd want to be
Gustavo Fring?
No, actually, I wouldn't mind that.
Mike?
Yeah, I'd want to be Mike. I like Mike.
Yeah.
Mike's my favorite character.
Yeah.
Or Saul. I guess I'm Saul.
Yeah, you would be Saul.
So I'm trying to think of a board game, though. I could definitely...
That would be reskinned for that?
Yeah. Let's think about that one.
Pandemic.
Okay.
Yeah.
Here's an easy one. Another Berkey question. So Spencer Kellis asks, best burger in Albuquerque.
Oh.
That for me, it's B2B.
B2B is fantastic.
So it's down in Nob Hill.
B2B is fantastic.
They have a great burger. They've got the Sunshine Burger. They put an egg on it, which I say I created like 15 years ago. I'm sure there's other people that have done that since. And they have a bunch of local brews, including Monk's Trapel,
right?
Which is a delicious. Oh, it's so good.
Well, and they also make their own. They're a microbrewery themselves, and they have some really interesting, cool flavors.
Yeah, it's called B2B. It's like gastro pub or something is what they call it.
Right.
And it's like beer or burgers to beer.
Yeah, burgers to beer. Exactly right.
Is what that is.
Yeah, that's pretty good in Albuquerque. That's what I'd say. I'm trying to remember. It's called either the Owl or the Buckhorn. Out, and it's down south of Albuquerque, about an hour.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I've eaten there before.
Yeah, kind of right, a little south of Socorro.
Yeah, I've eaten there a bunch of times. Whenever we would go to Ruidoso, which is kind of a resort area.
Yeah.
Growing up, we would stop there.
And if you head up north in Santa Fe, I'm trying to think of a Bobcat Bite. Bobcat Bite for sure wins that one. Solid. Go get Bobcat Bite.
He also asks if Heisenberg and Hank played a game of, this is another Breaking Bad. Played a game of Zolkin, who would win? It's got to be Heisenberg.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I mean, Walt would look at that and he would just be like,
yeah.
I do this, and this, and
too easy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like me and you playing a game of Zolkin.
And plus Hank would get, jeez. Hank would probably get too caught up on trying to collect like different kinds of minerals.
Oh yeah, he would.
He'd just like focus solely on one resource.
Yeah.
Or like get a diversity of resources or
just
something.
Keep getting stone.
Yeah, that's it.
You just collect stone.
You keep like cracking open like the materials, be like, nope, nothing in here. And yeah, it wouldn't work out well. Patrick
Hiller said Poseidon is considered an entry-level 18xx-ish game. All right. Is it available? Is it in print?
I don't know.
Huh.
Let's see. Could be total off here. Spike. Someone recommends Spike as well. So very late intro.
I think
Ticket to Ride with Pick Up and Deliver.
I think Rory has Spike at
Empire. Yep. I want to go back up because we missed out on Laser Baloney. Favorite new designer or designer that you've recently discovered? For me, designer I've recently discovered has to be
okay.
Put him on the top 6 list.
Mike
Fitzgerald?
Yeah, I don't know.
No, it's not Mike Fitzgerald. We just talked about him on the half of the podcast that we did, or a quarter, or 3/4 of a podcast we did. Who knows where we stopped to record this?
I'm gonna move this bottle that you're Knizia.
It's Reiner Knizia.
Oh,
I hadn't played any of his games up until very recently, even though he's an incredibly prolific designer.
Right.
And in terms of so someone I just discovered, that'd be where I'd fit that in.
So I feel like Luciani Simone, even though I mean Zolkin was my favorite game for a long time, I just kind of seen his other designs with the Grand Austria Hotel and even Marco Polo. Marco Polo is kind of going up in my mind, especially with the new characters.
Are you talking yourself into it?
I think so.
Okay.
I think I am. So yeah, no, you're done with Marco Polo.
Yeah.
You're definitely
thanks,
done.
But no thanks.
And there was someone else I was just thinking about, like, man, I really like this designer. Okay, let me come back to that too. So I got to think of a Breaking Bad game and a new designer that we've discovered.
I think Pandemic. So if you have a map of Albuquerque with different spots that have different demands that you're kind of building up, but trying to avoid.
Sons of Anarchy, the Sons of Anarchy game.
Oh, just reskin it that way.
Boom.
Okay,
nailed it.
Yeah.
Eric Toole also asks. And by the way, he's excited that I got his name right.
Yeah, I didn't say it at all.
Yeah. Alchemist. Love Alchemist. We reviewed it about 30 episodes ago.
We haven't done the double take on it yet.
No,
I don't think
that
so.
would be like 22 episodes from now.
Yeah.
That's how math and the calendars work.
I don't think it's that far anyway.
Yeah, it was in the 40s.
Was it in the 40s?
I'm pretty sure it was in the 40s.
I will not dispute
like 45, 47, somewhere in there. And I love it. I think you like Dungeon Pets better.
I do like Dungeon Pets better,
even though they're different games.
I think Alchemist is a better game.
Right.
From my play experience, and I like that Dungeon Pets is easier to teach. Alchemist is not impossible, but really hard. It's hard to teach.
It's impossible to teach.
Impossible.
No one
even though I've learned it.
Has ever played the game
it just takes so long to teach, and that alone is a detractor. Not using that term anymore, I guess. Keeps it from getting to the table as often. So I love it though in terms of the theme. I mean, that inspired a couple songs, basically.
A couple or just one?
Just one.
Okay.
Yeah, which I'm not going to sing here because I really don't feel like singing. Anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Patrick says that Poseidon is Z-Man 2010, so
maybe still in print. Could be.
Yeah.
Let's go back to the guild. So this one was my favorite question on the guild. Came from Matt Walker. Sean, is a hot dog a sandwich?
No. I saw this the other night, and I thought I spent way too long thinking about this question.
I think it comes down to this.
No, well, wait. First, ask this: is a hamburger a sandwich?
Yes.
I'm going to say no.
Oh, why?
Because it's a burger. Hamburger is a burger.
No, I think that's a type of sandwich. I think it falls under the umbrella of sandwiches.
Okay.
But I don't think hot dog fits the bill.
Why not?
It's just like a taco. If the bread's connected, it doesn't work. And I don't buy this whole concept of an open-faced sandwich.
Okay.
It's got to be 2 pieces of bread and stuff in between. That is a sandwich. Period. End of story. So a taco, because it's folded and it's one continuous piece.
Yeah.
Whole different class of food.
So if your hot dog bun breaks, like it can sometimes.
Right.
But was
it intentionally made for that?
But what if I intend to separate my hot dog buns and I just put the wiener in between?
Yes. I would consider that a kind of sandwich.
Wow.
If you're intentionally doing it. If
madness.
it just happens to break, it's not.
That's madness.
I'm just saying. So, no, bottom line, hot dog is not a sandwich.
And neither is a hamburger.
Hamburger is a sandwich.
Hamburger is not a sandwich.
Weigh in on whether you think a hamburger is a sandwich on the guild. All right. Anything else coming up on Twitter?
Nope, nothing on Twitter right now. What about you YouTube folks? I just saw me doing
yeah,
this.
we see ourselves on like a few second delay here, which is entertaining at most.
It's very funny. And then I'm going to see it here again in a second.
Probably, yeah.
And I'll probably do it again. And
yeah,
it's just this repeating cycle.
Anyway. Favorite solo game?
Right now, I really enjoy Fields of Arla solo.
Okay.
I am really liking this Lord of the Rings LCG. I think this could be
works as a good solo.
Yeah,
okay.
I enjoyed Pathfinder solo for a while.
Yeah,
I mean it's a pain in the butt to set up, but I played before you and I started playing. I had played 30 games of it solo.
Okay.
I mean, quite a few.
Good chunk.
Yeah. So I'm trying to think. Fields of Arla. I mean, there's just not a lot that I'll play solo.
It's not a thing that I think either of us do all that often.
Yeah. Just
you more than I.
I mean, because I have opportunities to play at least 2-player.
Right.
Fairly often. So
I enjoyed, and this is going to be another plug. I enjoyed
Last Road.
Anyway, okay. Sorry. No,
for me.
You're not finishing my sentence.
For me, Last Road.
I enjoyed Baseball Highlights 2045 single player.
There's a solo?
Oh, absolutely.
Oh, I didn't realize that.
What you do is you take the free agent deck.
That's right.
You deal off 15 cards and you start dealing them out.
Right.
And it's hard, but it works really well. And then there are other folks who have set up stacked decks, like they've set up certain decks in scenarios.
Mm-hmm.
If you go on to Baseball Highlights 2045's thing on Board Game Geek, where they've set up certain like World Series scenarios or other things. So, yeah.
Okay.
Solid solo game. Probably the most fun I've had solo, but then again, I love that game anyway.
Yeah.
So, be careful. Lord of the Rings LCG will break the bank.
Yeah, Eric said that. Fortunately, I purchased the core set at like half price from Barnes & Noble, and then in a math trade, I got another core set with a ton of expansions. So I'm good for a while, but yeah, I think I'm good for a while. We'll see though.
Ryan Moore asks, when will we see another building blocks?
Soon.
Really?
Well, so the next one planned is.
I'm not aware of this plan.
Yeah, because we planned it like 3 months ago.
Okay.
Pick up and deliver.
Okay.
Using Great Heartland Hauling Company as the building block. So that's planned. Hopefully I'm going to have a little bit more free time. Not really free time, but I'm not going to be working as much.
Right. You're switching jobs.
Because I'm switching jobs, and it was just really difficult getting home at a reasonable hour. I mean, there are a lot of I go in between like 8 and 8:30, and a lot of nights that I'm staying till like 6:30, sometimes 7.
And those things take a good amount of video editing.
Right. So hopefully I'm gonna have a much more regular like 8 to 5 schedule, and if I need to take off an hour early or something, I can do that.
But Ryan, let's be honest with Ryan. The biggest hurdle is not your availability. It tends to be me being a pain in the ass about every building block segment we've ever done.
Oh, okay, let's just film it. Just film it.
Whatever, screw it. And this broke again, and oh my good, yeah, I'm a total pain in the ass with that specifically. More so than other things.
Yeah, it's incredible. It's incredible.
Which
how
is funny.
You get.
Yeah, it's funny because it's what I do professionally, and it just for whatever reason really annoys me.
Because even when it goes long,
right?
Even when there's something goes wrong,
yeah.
Your involvement is like 15 to 20 minutes.
Oh, I know. It's so minimal compared. That's why we talk about the Duke of Wii in terms of like the work that gets put in oftentimes, because Sean tends to pick up the bulk of it.
Right.
Sean drives this boat.
And then when I find that there is a problem with the audio, I'm the one that has to go back in and spend like an hour scrubbing it.
Yeah.
Like putting different filters on. But the other thing was when we recorded, so we're doing our big screen board games
right
on the Boards Alive Monster Mashup.
Right.
I feel like it's better suited for that kind of environment. And we had to record at Empire the other night.
How'd that sound?
Oh, it's fine.
Okay, good.
Yeah. And but you were so annoyed.
I'm a pain in the ass with it. Basically anything that's not the show.
Right.
And this actually I like. Like I like the Q&As.
Right.
I've had fun with this, and I look forward to doing the interview episodes.
Yeah.
Actually being on that next one. Hopefully that next one.
Yeah.
We can make work. When is the wedding, Sean?
At some point in the near future.
Near future?
Or future? Near, yeah.
This year?
Near in the, the sense
in the relative to the beginning of time.
Right.
Yeah.
So
this year, next year, summer wedding, fall wedding.
Haven't even really thought about that.
Okay.
So
will it be at Empire?
When you kind of do things out of order. Yeah, it'll be at Empire. So when you kind of do things out of order, like when, you move in and there's, you have
a baby.
You have a baby and there's, you're practically, for all intents and purposes, already
When's
kind of
Chu's
married.
birthday offhand?
April 20th.
Turning 2?
Yeah.
4/20. That should be easy to remember anyway.
April 21st.
Is it?
Yeah.
What?
Not Hitler's not Hitler's birthday.
Are you making that up or?
Not Hitler's birthday.
Wow. That shows you what he thinks about Jews. Jeez.
No, not Hitler's birthday.
I know. Wait, what?
Hitler was born on 4/20, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. And I was really worried. I'm like, please don't let her be born on Hitler's birthday. And she was born the day after. And I'm like, okay, that's a little too close for comfort. But
so anyway, when you do things out of order.
Yeah. I felt like I needed to at least get engaged, propose, and whatnot.
Usually a good thing.
So, but yeah, we're not necessarily.
There's no rush.
Yeah. And not to say that, because I had a lot of people. I had like my grandparents, like, "Oh, I think you're just afraid of commitment." Like, no, I'm not. No, it's fine.
You're pretty dang committed.
Yeah. Why are you doing this, phone? So, stop. Anyway.
Got it.
What are you doing? Okay. You focus on that while I get my phone to shut up.
Next question. This is from Jonathan Dodd, and this is actually something we were thinking about as a top 6 list at some point. Favorite 2-player games. And the way we were trying to think about this is not games that play best at 2 players, but games that are designed as 2-player experiences.
Yeah.
So for instance, Matai and I can play up to 5, but we prefer it at 2 or 3.
Right.
Preferably 2 as kind of a dual game. Your favorite 2-player game, Sean?
Battle Lore.
That's amazing. Yeah, it's pretty good.
I really think it's Battle Lore. I mean, there's a lot of other games like Fields of Arle is amazing as a 2-player game, but I love Battle Lore, and I think because it kind of scratches that miniatures itch,
right?
Without everything, with all of that setup and painting and things like that.
Lost Cities.
Okay.
What's the one with the gems? The gems and the camels.
The gems.
Suzanne taught me this at Dice Tower Con.
The gems and the camels.
Like there's not gems because there's leather too and other, but there's resources you grab.
Oh, Jaipur.
Oh
yeah, Jaipur.
Like Jaipur a ton 2-player. Patchwork. You can't not mention Patchwork. And even though you can play it at 4 and you can play it at 3, I feel like Baseball Highlights is designed as a 2-player game primarily.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it has a 3-player variant, but I'd say so. Yeah, those would be some that would probably be on that list. Should we ever do it in an episode? Favorite 2-player games. Anything coming on Twitter?
Nope.
Okay.
Nope, nothing on Twitter. By the way, if you're just tuning in and haven't heard, you can also ask questions on Twitter using the hashtag DODQA, which I probably should have put in the title there.
Another question from the Guild, also from Jeremy Wright. Do we post our questions here if we can't be there live? The answer is yes. Sorry, I had to do it.
Wait.
Had to do it.
Oh, that was on purpose?
Yeah, it was on purpose.
Okay, just wanted to make sure.
Derek Davis, he had a couple of interesting
Hold on, real quick. Going back to Patrick. Patrick is recommending Akrotiri for 2. Did you play that?
No, we broke it out. We had it on the table, and I didn't actually play it.
I love it.
We were about to, but then other people showed up.
Yeah, Akrotiri is fantastic. I think it's such a great game. Senfung Lim and Jay Cormier, great design. I think they're fantastic designers, and Akrotiri is so good.
I think both of us have gotten to appreciate 2-player games more as we've kind of gone on this podcast. You, because you can play with Raquel frequently. And me, I found just so many of these games that can play up to 4 or 5. Oftentimes the sweet spot's actually at 2.
Yeah.
I'll probably talk about this in next week's episode, not this one coming out this time, but when we review Grand Austria Hotel, there's a good chance this is the best at 2.
Interesting. I've played 2 games so far at 2. Right. I'm hoping to get a 3 and a 4 player in.
Ooh, 4 player. I wouldn't even do.
I've heard bad things about 4.
The problem with
I need to try it.
The problem is because you have that snake style turn order, which makes sense. It helps keep that first turn advantage from being too big. Sure. If you have a 3-player game, it's 1, 2, 3, but then you're waiting for 4, 5, 6. You're waiting between 1 and 6. That's a long time. You're waiting for people to take 2 turns in between.
I think it comes down to you have to treat it kind of like 5 tribes, where you have your plan. Here's what I would like to do, but I can't be hyper focused on what's happening because so much is going to change. So I don't know. We'll see.
Cool.
I hear 4. Yeah, I hear 4 is bad, but I think I'll be fine with 3. I think.
I wasn't a big fan. All right. Ryan Moore with a nice comment for us. I would just like to thank both of you for your commitment to a once-a-week podcast. I really appreciate the hard work. As with most things on this podcast, that's thanks to Sean. We started off as a bi-weekly podcast.
Yep, we sure did.
And pretty early on, Sean...
Oh, it sounds so nice.
Pretty early on, Sean said, hey, we should do this every week. I was like, are you sure? Yeah, no, we can make it work. No problem.
You were not... Are you sure? You were like, yeah, I think so.
Was I on board that early? I don't think that's likely.
No, it was, because the recording was fun. I enjoyed the recording, and I'm sure you enjoyed the recording.
Yeah.
And so it's like, yeah, that's not much more of a commitment.
I remember Jillian wasn't a big fan of that at the time.
Yeah.
Anyway, all right.
But thank you, Ryan. That's nice to hear. Appreciate that.
Netters Plays. Have you tried Raptor?
No. But I really want to. I know, Sam from the Dice Tower. Sam Healy is a big fan of it, and Dan King's a big fan of it.
Okay.
And then I think Dan and I were trying to get it because he had Sam's copy, and I was hoping to get a play of it in, but that didn't happen. But definitely something I want to try. Basically, one of you is like a baby or a mama dinosaur and protecting the baby dinosaurs. The other is a scientific team, trying to capture them. And interesting. So it's 2 players only. Looks really interesting, and it's Bruno Cathala.
Oh, okay.
Bruno Cathala?
Yeah.
Bruno Cathala, pretty sure.
Like all of his games except for 1.
Yeah. And Laser Baloney agrees Raptor's very, very good.
Yes, indeed. All right, we're going to probably try and wrap this up about 1 o'clock-ish. So if you have any questions lingering out there, for the handful of you can tune in, and thank you so much for tuning in.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Yeah, post them either on Twitter, #DODQA, or right here, because we are going to be out in probably a few minutes.
Okay.
So just that kind of 5-minute warning for folks.
All right.
All right. Going back to the Guild, Derek Davis did have a few more questions. If you could go on a date with 1 game mechanic, what would it be?
Probably worker placement. I mean, and let me tell you what we do. I don't know what we do. But we would...
I had something I was about to say that was not family friendly.
Worker placement, there's just something so simple about it,
right?
And whether you're getting the item right away after you place, or you wait until you pull, or you wait until the end of a round, or whatever, there's just something that just connects with me, and I just really enjoy worker placement. And I feel like you get what you put in, kind of like a good relationship.
Okay,
you get what you put in, so to speak.
Interesting.
So I like to go on a date with worker placement. Showed a good time.
Drafting.
Okay.
Drafting's mine. Don't have anything else. Oh, hey, Derek Derek just chimed in. Nice, I just got here. Sorry I missed so much. By the way, as Derek will see later once we post this, the full episode will be available. So, Derek, we answered a bunch of your questions earlier in the show.
Yeah.
So, check it out.
Netter Splays asks, which conventions are you going to this year? We talked about that earlier. Just very briefly, we're both confirmed for Dice Tower Con.
Yes.
I'm confirmed for BGG Con. There's some other things that may or may
I'm
not.
a maybe on BGG Con and hopeful on Essen.
Yeah, right.
Solo Essen experience. So, Patrick Hillier missed all your questions. What? Thanks to Derek. I understand.
Yeah.
Dice Tower Con, we will be there. If you can get a ticket, those things went dang fast.
Yep.
Dang fast. So, but we will be there. So, for the first time as part of the Dice Tower Network, what do you think that's going to be like?
Nothing different. There'll be some people more that know of us, but yeah.
We have to be rocking the shirts.
Yeah.
Well, and Max is going. Is Matthew going?
Matthew has a ticket, but I think he's going to sell it to Rory. I think it's
okay. So Rory's coming.
Yeah.
Cool.
So yeah, we'll have a good crew there.
He's going to bring some Empire swag.
Sure. Well, I don't know. Maybe.
Does that exist yet?
And Raquel's going.
Oh well, yeah.
So we'll have a good crew there. Like it'll be a good.
Yeah,
time.
we'll have a presence. You'll see the shirts.
And of course, we'll hang out with Suzanne and we'll hang out with Berkey.
Yep.
And Dan. I mean, there's a lot of people. A lot of people talk about board game conventions as kind of like adult summer camp.
Yeah.
I'm very excited.
Flip the Table is going to be at that convention.
Yeah. Be at that convention, and I am very, very excited to hopefully play with those guys.
Cool. But kind of nervous. I'm very nervous meeting new people. Just am.
Okay.
We talked about this ahead of Dice Tower Con last year. Suzanne helped out big time with that.
She's great. She's fantastic.
Fantastic. And you'll be hearing from Suzanne on a future episode.
2 weeks from now.
Yes. Yeah. Not this recording, not the next week's recording, but the one after.
We're going to be reviewing Kemet with the Toss City expansion.
You guys have fun with that.
Well, we were talking about what we were going to review, and I said I want to review something that Alex will absolutely not be interested in.
Yeah.
And so at one point we were talking about the Luvia project. I'm like, well, he may want to review that, but Kemet, Dudes on the Map, no way.
Do I have to pre-review my double take? Pre-record it? Not pre-review.
No, you'll give me the what it is.
I'll give you a number and you'll put it out there.
We actually have a calendar. Did you see this in the guild?
Yeah, I saw that, and I didn't know if I was the only one who could see that. If everyone could see.
No, everyone could see that in the guild.
Oh,
just kind of.
I should probably take some stuff off that thing.
Did you put stuff on?
No, I didn't put anything on it.
I'm like, I don't think you have the ability to put stuff on.
No, I probably don't.
Because I can either have it where I can add to it or where everyone can add to it.
Right.
Like I can't add like a single
individual people. That's annoying.
Yeah, it's very annoying. But just kind of we're planning out a little bit more in advance as far as like really lining things up and things like that. So what is that there? So this coming week, a couple days, we've got episode 78.
Yep, that one's going to be top 6 anticipated of 2016.
Yep,
as well as excuse me.
Did you just fart?
Yeah, a little bit. Sorry. just a little bit. That'll be on the podcast. So, what is
hashtag?
What?
Hashtag Gassy Duke Alex.
Oh, don't make that one fun.
Let's blow that up.
No, please don't.
Oh.
Hey, the date theme, just to go back to Derek Davis since he's actually watching now, hopefully. Sticking with the date theme, if you could set each other up on a blind date with a game, what would it be? Get it together. Wasn't that funny?
No, it's the fact that it was on it.
Oh, okay.
And if you hadn't said I'm sorry, I never would have known. I
Okay.
didn't hear it. I didn't.
Someone at home did.
Okay. Anyway. They'd be like, oh, his chair squeaked.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. It wasn't the chair. If you could set each other up on a blind date with a game, what would it be?
I would set you up with Combat Commander.
What?
Yeah.
Now, this is something you were going to hope I'm liking.
No, you're going to hate it.
Oh, great. Okay. So you're just going to set me up on something you know I'm not going to like.
Yeah, so I can laugh and make fun of you.
No. All right. I'm going to set you up on a blind date with Best Treehouse Ever.
Okay.
Because you need to play that.
You seemed really upset by that response.
Yeah, I was like,
you seemed really.
I was hoping for love. I was hoping you were going to set me up with something I haven't played, but you think I'd really like, and just need to give a chance. But if I knew what it was, I wouldn't give it a chance offhand.
Okay,
that's the whole point of that.
But in this scenario,
right,
you're still with Jillian, right? And so you're cheating on Jillian. So I want to set it up for failure because I don't want you and Jillian to break up.
Patrick Hillier, Photoshop on its way.
Good job, Patrick.
Thanks, Patrick.
Fart Duke Alex.
Yep.
Says
that's good times. Derek Davis asking a question that we sort of answered probably right before he tuned in. Will you be doing more videos for Board Game Breakfast? The answer is,
I'm hopefully, and I'm hoping that with my new job, my work schedule will allow for that a little bit better, because that video editing is just, it's a lot of work.
It's primarily my fault anyway, as we also explained. Anyway, all right. I think that'll about do it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Thanks for watching. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for hanging out with us, and we'll do it again soon.
Very soon, because we have to do it soon.
Is it every month for that? I thought it was every other month. I think the Patreon episode, the interview episodes are every month.
Oh, is it?
But this is every other month.
Oh, this is every other month. Oh.
Yeah, so I don't think we have to do another one, but in March, I think
we
do
no,
that.
But you know what? We had to do one. Okay, so we had to do one for November.
I don't know. You're keeping track.
Here we go. We had to do one for November.
Yeah.
Which we did in December.
Right.
So we did owe a January one.
Right.
So
which we are doing now.
So they should be every odd month.
Yeah.
So this is our odd month. And so, yeah, I guess there'll be one in March.
Ryan Moore says, quick last question. Thoughts on doing an episode on something besides games? Food? I love food. I love food too. I don't think so. Like an episode not at all about games at all?
Probably.
Maybe put that as a Patreon, as like, if you pay $50, you can have Sean do an episode on something and I'll do an episode.
I feel like I'd be more inclined to do a Q&A about something other than games.
That could be
rather than an episode.
Yeah, as a segment. Maybe like a Duke's non-gaming related mailbag.
Yeah.
Do it as a segment instead of a full episode.
Well, it's interesting because I haven't seen it with us, because we talk a lot about board games, but I have seen with other podcasts where people have issues when they start, like when they're billed as a board game podcast and then they don't talk about. They spend,
I think if you put it as a
periods
second,
of time.
If you put it as a second segment,
yeah,
I think it's late enough in the episode. I think it would probably work. Okay. Anyway,
I like food.
I do enjoy food as well, and I'm actually pretty hungry, if I'm being honest. So.
Oh, please.
I keep using that phrase today. If I'm being honest.
Please be honest. Yeah.
All right.
All right. So again, everyone, thank you very much for participating, whether on Twitter, whether on the Guild, whether here on YouTube. And what are you? Oh, thanks everyone is what you're typing now.
Yeah, they can read that.
Yeah. So, all right. Well, that's going to do it for us. Until next time, this is Sean.
And Alex.
And I have to find the button to click. So we'll catch you next time. Later, everybody.